Hello and welcome back. We'll just follow the double around for a moment or two, and then we'll move a bit of triang around the railway, and I've got a bit of sort of late 70s Hornby Railways sort of stuff in to have a little bit of a fiddle with it. You can see the wagons there in the foreground, and we've got the Class 47 named Mammoth there, so we'll have a look at that lot running in a moment. Quite an interesting set from the late 70s, but that's not all from the late 70s. So I have forgotten to pick up the controls. So let's make the best of this. We'll have a look at this come through the station. And this time around, I'll pick up the controls as we roll around the railway. Trying to move slowly across the room there. Yeah, I've got the controls there. You can hear the Velcro going. Let's come back and higher a little. So smoothly around the engine shed. And I think we'll just bring this to a stop on the centre line in the station, so I'm just glancing down at the controls. I think that'll be nice and safe there. So let's pop these down over here. And I said I was going to move some triang around the railway, but what I meant really was some more sort of Hornby and sort of triang Hornby. I've got the Britannia sitting there with those ventilated vans, some more ventilated than others. I think the ones on, if you look from the other side, we've got the doors open. Let's see if we can get this to run around to the other line. We'll give this a little power. So there we'll let go of the controls and see if that'll run by itself there. I think I'm going to have to adjust the speed of it, so we'll try and keep the controls with us. So we saw this a couple of weeks ago. So I'm just going to slow this down because it's going to come through this point here. And we've got all those wagons across all of those points. Into that tight radius, Series 3. And then we'll bounce across the diamond. Now I have to admit, I thought I'd left those points changed. So let's come back a little bit here. So let's back up. Tender drive here. So this time, let's get those points changed there. So we're coming above, throw those to curved. Actually, if we come the other way, maybe we'll see the colour light signal change. I'm just throwing the wrong one. I'm going to have a look down at the switches here. Got my hand on the wrong one, so let's try that again. All good fun. Makes a very similar noise though, doesn't it? Very nice snap. And these are the slightly older version of the point motors with a sort of round casing on. So the later ones are sort of much larger affair. I think the motor might be a little bit different on the inside, perhaps more windings or something. So there, let's roll that through there. No, the later ones seem like they might be more susceptible to things catching on them as well, strangely. There must have been a reason for the change in design. So we'll hold that there. We'll bring the controls with us. Make sure we bring them there. And then I'm going to... I've got this switch here. That one. So we'll make that one straight. I'm thinking completely the wrong way around here, so that will change that one. What I want is these switches over here. So I want to make this one straight and this one straight. So that seals that into the railway, into here. So that changes that one there and the corresponding one at the other end. There we go. So it's all a bit sort of semi-unplanned this, but the one I was going to change is this one. We might as well have a go whilst we're here. So we'll just run that around there. I need to change one more over my shoulder while we're at it, so we'll just make that one straight behind me, so that transcontinental train should run out of the siding there. So we'll get that to run around. Wasn't going to run this one. Turning the switch the wrong way. Very smooth run of that one. So let's not get too distracted. A bit more stuff running here than I had anticipated. So there we go. We'll change that one. Still got the controls with me, whereas what I really wanted to do was change this one here. So let's get that one to change. Again, I'm getting the wrong switches. So this has got directional lighting. So let's give that a run out of there. Silver Seal style motor. I suppose it's still called Silver Seal. I think this is a late 70s variation, sort of 79 to the early 80s, this version of the model. Let's just stop that there, and I'm going to close these points back down here. Where am I? Got the switch again, so we'll make that curved. Very nice snap. Very reassuring. So let's give that a bit more power there. So my influence in choosing the Wagons was just a picture I saw in the 79 catalogue when I was sort of having a look through at the models. So I've come across this Class 47 in the box of things. I wasn't really having any particular plans to get this one out after the last video, but with no sort of plans in mind, it's just coming across stuff and thinking, oh, I'll have a go at that. And I thought I'd better find a... Whoops. That didn't like something there, did it? So it's crashed into a point on the end of a point blade, perhaps, and it has come away there. So on the curve is not the best place to rectify that. Let's get that there. Let's just run backwards there. Yeah, let's try that again. Yeah, remember, this track's not the ideal place for a model of this era, but seeming to get away with it. Yeah, so I just found this and then thought, well, while I was looking through the 79 catalogue and saw the Express Freight set, or the BR Express Freight set, thought, I'll get that group of wagons out. And I didn't quite have them all. Let's slow that down again, because this is where it jumped last time, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's just a presentation of the wheels. We'll just get that to stop there. I'm going to grab the 79 catalogue. We'll put the cables down. We'll just grab that. Mallard on there. It's nagging me thinking, well, did we have the Mallard out quite recently or not? So I don't know, but I'm thinking that it's going to come out quite soon. So there we have this version of the Class 47. I think this came along in the early 70s. I'll put some info at the bottom of the screen, but the dates that this particular model ran, I'm thinking sort of 79 to early 80s. And that one's got R.073 there, Class 47, Cocoa diesel electric locomotive. So in this incarnation, new for 79. So let me just show you the set. Actually, we'll have a look at that's an early sort of mock-up of the 01 there. So we'll zoom through here. Sets. That's a stunning set as well. So, not that one. Very vibrant colours in here, aren't they? There we go, that's the one. R.073 BR Express Freight set. I think this was only available this year, this variant there, so quite a striking looking set. Whole bunch of items there when you look at the picture. But look at that. Terrific number of wagons, isn't there? Now the only one I don't think I could find, actually there was two I couldn't find in the end. So the mineral wagon like that, I think that's an late 70s, early 80s wagon. And Arnold Sands, I can't believe I didn't have an Arnold Sands. In my head I can picture having one of those, but I really don't have one. So let's just have a look down at the page with the wagons. There we go. Let's bring this over here. So we've got a petrol tanker. So that's a R.020 Shell tanker. So let's have a swift look at that. That's sitting on the railway there. So we'll not manhandle all of these off, I don't think. We'll just leave them on there. We've got the silver seal wheels there. And actually we should have a look at the yeah, there's the Arnold Sands. I didn't have one of those. But I did have one of those. So the Bestwood 5-plank wagon R.073. So it's quite a sort of cute looking wagon, all in black with that white printing on the sides, ironworks. And we've got the planking detail in there. Again, we got silver seal wheels on that. So what else have we got? Yeah, that mineral wagons I replaced. That was a replacement as well. Let's see what the original should look like. So where are we looking? Yeah, that one there. We should have one of those. I don't have one of those. 239 mineral wagon. So actually I've left my list of numbers and dates. So I'll put the number and date of this one here. This is quite a long running model. This one's had the wheels messed around with on this. It's a metal chassis. This and it's got the. Actually, why not? Let's get the uncoupler. Although I can't see where I've put it. That's a good reason not to have it. There we go. Why not have a look at these things in the end? Trying to keep these videos short. Well, not necessarily the shooting time, it's the editing time, and time available at the moment is still very busy. Let's get that. Not the best place to do this one on the curve. I'm going to pull that forward. Onto the straight. And then we'll have a look. There we go. And let's do that one as well. So semi knocked that one off already. So let's just have a look at that one. So that's got early silver seal wheels on it with the metal axles. So it must be very expensive to produce that. So I think they're stickers on there. I don't know whether they went to printing on later on. So we'll put that on there. And then my mineral wagon. Date nagging me on that, but we'll put that at the bottom of the screen. So you see it's got sleeved wheels and somebody's filled in the axle boxes. And, that one sort of, I don't know, the paint on there is scrubbed away. But it sort of runs, so I've left it alone. So I think that's quite a long running model. It's early 60s, coming up into the 70s. So this is quite an interesting looking wagon as well. Again, I'll put the info at the bottom. So there we go. There we've got it in the catalogue there. So we've got R220. So a large mineral wagon there. And this one's got a plastic wheel set in it. It's a fairly nice condition. And if you look at the insert picture there, you can see some of these wagons have their boxes and some don't. So there's the bestwood. Have a quick glance at that one. Here we go. Whoops. So again, that's got perhaps the more traditional, the wheels we think of when we think of silver seals. But yeah, I think there are a couple of variants of this type of wagon over the period. I'll pop that back on there. And then we've got the cattle wagon, or is it called a sheep wagon at this stage? SR. Yeah, let's have a look there. So we've got R.106 sheep wagon. So I think this is just the cattle wagon, so sort of repackaged slightly. It's a great colour there again. The more traditional sort of silver seal wheels. Pop that back on. And the cattle wagon overall was quite a long running item, prime pork. So let's pop that on there. So we've got this one in the catalogue as well. I think we had one of these out on the railway a little while ago, didn't we? There doesn't seem to be any naming on the bottom of that one. It's sort of blank. The chassis is blank. So I don't know whether that was done for a specific purpose, whether they're using the chassis to make things for, you know, items for resale under another brand perhaps. Or brandless. And there's quite a number of these wagons. There we go. So we've got the McVitie's 137 closed van. So again, that's got the traditional sort of silver seals, and that's got some writing on the bottom. Try and get that in. It just catch out in the light, made in England there. So they've got round section silver seal wheels, quite smooth running. So we'll just pop that back down. And then we've got the brake van, the 20-ton brake van. Is that on this page? Not on this page. So there we go. It was there. Again, I was looking at the catalogue and the camera's pointing down. R28, is that 18 brake van? So I think this could be had under a number of numbers over the period. So again, we'll have the information at the bottom of the screen. This one's got plastic wheel set in there. It's got triang on the bottom, metal couplings. Thousands of these, I imagine. Thousands and thousands. So let's pop that back on there. And again, I'm not going to do that on the curve. You can see how, I wonder how sometimes you can get some derailments caused just by the angle of the couplings. So let's get rid of that. Yeah, what do you think? Mallard next time, perhaps? So let's just bring this forward a little bit. We'll get that in there. Yeah, that's a better angle. Let's have a quick look over the model now. I'm sure I've shown this before in great detail, so we're not going to sort of start dismantling, but let's have a basic look underneath. Just the 2 traction tyres. So the ends do light up, so when we see that running, if you keep an eye on it, it does light up. And there we've got Mammoth on the sides. You can just see some of the motor, the brush side there of the motor. So I lost track of which way around I had that on the railway now. I think that's that way. And again, with all these wheels, this probably was the wrong thing just to pick that up off the rails. You've got floating wheels. Yeah, I wonder which way around that went in there. So there we go. So let's just get that underway again, and we'll make a slightly more interesting route for that, perhaps. So, tiny amount of wheel slip there. Actually, rather than an interesting route, why don't I split the railway? And then we can get that Britannia running. And this, so let's go there. So I think I can safely split that now. Yeah, so we're looking good there. So we'll go there and there, and then we'll separate the 2 railways. There we go. So I think we can get the Britannia underway. He says, hopefully. And maybe I should prevent it from coming back into there. I think I will, because it's just asking for trouble. If we're following this around, then it's coming to an additional set of points. So we'll get that to run away again. That's all looking good, isn't it? It's quite good coming through there past all those locomotives, trains and locomotives standing at the station. Looks like a very busy place. There we go. I think we're quite satisfied that that seems to be running and taking care of itself. So I'll pick up the controls for the freight train here. And get both trains in the same shot there for a moment or two. All very satisfying. Britannia suddenly seems to be picking up some pace to me. Well, I think we'll manage to get them together again here. I'm quite pleased with that. That all looks excellent. So I wonder whether we can get the 00 underway as well. Yeah, they begin to separate a little bit now. Different kettle of fish running the 00. These Silver Seal motors. Britannia coming in from the left there. Lots of clanking and clattering going on. Let's just trust it to run for a moment. We'll have a quick look at these and then we'll see if we can make a more interesting route for the train we were originally looking at. But I'm going to have to keep an eye on the 00 train because that, to me, sounds like it's picking up some pace as well. I think they're all picking up pace. We'll just calm the 00 one down a little bit. Well, it is just playing with trains. Alright, we'll grab some control over the 00 train. We'll bring that to rest around here, I think. We'll stop it at the station. And now I think we'll get the Britannia next time it comes around. We'll stop that at the station as well. We'll seal that in and then we'll get the class 47. I know I keep calling it 37. I think in my head I think I keep calling it the wrong thing. We'll seal this at the station and then transfer lines with the other one just to finish off with, I think. Definitely an express freight train now. So if I can stop that there, and then we'll have a fiddle with these. So we want them curved and curved. So I'm just taking the edge off that. That had wound itself up quite a bit. So we'll have that there. I'm just we'll pop those in there. Let's change the route. So I want to that one and that one, and I just need to turn this into one railway again, otherwise we'll short everything out if we turn anything on. So this one railway, off. A good plan. So let's see if this will climb around here, around the back of the turntable again. You can hear it all clattering over that diamond. And then we'll bring it on the inside there. And I'll just seal that onto the outer line. So we'll just go that one, and I'll do the other one quickly while I'm not looking, so I'm not going to go back to that line. So let's give that a little power and see if we can just get a couple of shots of this underway. But thanks again for looking in, hugely appreciated. So we'll try and get the mallard out, I think, next time. So it should be good fun to have a look at. I think we'll get the sort of mid-late 70s coaches to go with it, so we can have a bit of a charge around with that. But I think that's probably it for this time. Thanks again. Goodbye now.